Well, the AMA is going to start. So here's the thing. We're starting just a couple minutes early. And we're starting just a couple minutes early to go help the marketing team with one of the first AMAs that we've done and actually streamed live simultaneously. So we got a little program called Restream, and now that's what we're using. And I don't know. Glad to have you guys here. It's exciting. In just a couple minutes, we're going to start the actual broadcast. Well, we started the broadcast, but we'll start the recording. I'm going to go hit the everyone command here so that AMA time. Woohoo! So, in case you guys don't know, make sure you record Gabba. Yeah, Neil, do you have a mic handy right now? Yeah. So let's go see if I can hear you over there. So
testing.
Yeah. Now you show up in my desktop audio. So I think everything is okay. Do you want to stay on for the next 4 minutes until we actually get started?
Sure.
Is there anything that you were particularly? Hey guys, do you want to do a quick introduction of yourself, Mr. Neil?
I suppose. So I'm Neil. I'm Splinterlands whale, number one of the non-team member account holders.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Do you want to give anybody your professional background? What you do?
Yeah, I'm a tax accountant, tax planner. It's my main gig. Although I'm considering retiring on my Splinterlands.
Yeah, seriously, that's the dream, right? The dream is that
it's the dream.
To hell with this. Working 9 to 5 is terrible, and what we're going to do is just get a lot.
Yeah, so I'm looking at my bulk view on Peak Monsters, and they've added this line with revenue from rentals of what's currently rented, and then they have a total of the total amount you have. That if every rental was rented, how much you'd be making, and if everything was rented, I'd be making 153,000 DEC per day, and
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. And so at par value, right? That's $55,000 a year, and then there's the SPS that you get on top of that for all that DEC. So, I'm kind of thinking at this point that, when lands are released, there's going to be such demand for cards to be working on the lands that the rental market is going to explode.
Yep. And
I think so right now, of that 153,000, I'm renting 12,000. So it's a very low percentage.
And just so everybody's clear, this is dark energy crystal value, not US dollar value.
Right.
Yet.
Yet. So the par value of dark energy crystals is 1,000th of $1. So 1,000 DEC roughly equals $1. Market volatility, etc. But somewhere around there. So if I'm making 153,000 DEC per day, when that utilization goes up because there's so much demand for cards, and I'm making SPS on top of that, which is the governance token that is being released here in a couple weeks. That's a lot of money.
So, yeah, and I keep thinking about what about a rental market for SPS? There's going to be delegation, so you can go rent delegation. So not only can you have SPS and earn SPS, but you can earn SPS for staking SPS on players that weren't able to get SPS staked on them. And that, it's a way to make sure that everybody has access to some level of SPS staking. I mean, that to me, This is so meta. It's so meta.
Yeah, I'd have to see how that evolves because the question is, what is the most efficient, and I have trouble seeing that working out in having a large positive value in that. Because if you look at other delegated systems like on Hive or on Steam or whatever, the cost of renting tends to rise towards, maybe not exactly, but towards the benefit of those delegations.
Right, but if the token appreciates, then who cares?
Maybe
You break even and then it grows. But I mean, I don't. It ends up being a bit of a conversion. I agree, but usually not equal. Let's see. I think we might be ready to start. No, Matt's still not here. So, just so everybody knows, this is live. Not only is it's not being recorded yet, but this is the Splinterlands AMA. I can see that Knight is here. Knight, are you going to be able to be on a microphone? Can you confirm that? Because I always like to let him on. All right. Well, Matt's doing his thing, and we don't quite need Matt to go get started with if we're going to do YGG. So I'm going to go. Let's go get Knight unmuted here, and shortly we'll get Matt on, and then we can go start the AMA. So I'm gonna start recording in a sec. Neil, is there anything you'd like to share with the audience while we're here, while we're live streaming but not yet recording?
I think that SPS plus lands is going to be like way bigger than anybody can even conceive at the moment. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that's true. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Well, Neil, thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking us through a bit. It does seem like Matt is here. So let's go check Matt's audio and let's check Knight's audio. And assuming both of those are okay, I'll get started. So Matt, can you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't in the actual audio chat room and couldn't understand why I couldn't hear anything.
Okay, and then Knight, are you here?
Yes, I am.
All right, I'm going to go start the recording. We are already live. Hey, just before we start, we record this. This is live. Please don't do anything outlandish. Joking around. This is it's an AMA. Ask me anything. You are welcome to ask any question. You are allowed any opinion you want. The only thing we ask for is a semi-professional delivery. Doesn't need to be perfect, but just like, let's keep swear words out of this. Let's keep offensive commentary out of this. If you're my buddy and you want to harass me outside of things, it's not like I'm against this entirely. I want to keep these AMAs pretty professional. The best that we can do on the internet in a crypto group. So, and moderators, if people have a difficult time dealing with that, please feel free to briefly kick folks. Or ban them from this room or something. Again, it's not the topic. You are welcome to ask us anything you want. It's just the delivery. If you don't like our opinions, you can say, "Hey, we don't like this thing," but don't be like, "Hey, you guys are freaking idiots and we hate your face and we don't like this thing." That's the difference. Keep the nastiness out. Anyways, I'm going to get recording here. You guys are pretty familiar with this by now. Good evening, everybody. This is Aggroed. We are currently going live. I'm one of the founders of Splinterlands. I'm here and joined by my fellow founder. Matt, do you want to say a quick hi to the people?
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here as always.
All right. So this is a Ask Me Anything. The audience is welcome to ask us anything. There's already questions. If you're asking AMA questions, please put question in big, bold, maybe all caps or literally bold up the front. I would love to have that happen so that when I'm scrolling through, it's easy to find this stuff. I want to go start with Knight. Knight is from the Yield Guild Games community. And maybe, Knight, do you want to go, come talk to us a little bit about how your community is doing, how you guys are growing, what your plans are, anything else that's sort of relevant to your life these days, and just give us a little recap of how YGG is doing.
Sure. Let's see. So YGG, as just a reminder for anybody who doesn't know, is a metaverse gaming guild. Our mission is to onboard players into the play-to-earn metaverse. So with respect to Splinterlands, demand continues to be really robust. I think there's been some problems with one of the other major games that the guild plays, and so there's been a lot of kind of crossover demand for people looking for things to do. While there's been outages and things. Which, by the way, I hope you guys are ready to scale because you may find yourselves in a similar position of needing to throw emergency resources on scaling at some point soon. But anyway, yeah. So we're continuing to onboard people really regularly. This was the first season that I guess we've done a full season with delegations in play and the rental system live, and that's been very instructive. Honestly, we designed the delegation system pre-rental system, and it hasn't aged well. It's actually a lot of manual effort to look at people's collections and try to delegate to them a good series of cards, and then maintain that and track their progress. The rental market kind of does all that for us in terms of if people aren't not going to pay for cards if they're not using them. So we're actually going to move away from delegations and try to come up with other plans to education, supporting people, community stuff, and of course continue to onboard people. But we're going to be kind of discontinuing the delegation program after this season, and so expect to see all of Agrod's cards back on the market. How do you feel about that, Agrod?
A little mixed. I actually really like the idea that all my cards are going to go help players. But my next hope, I'm involved with the Hive Engine ecosystem too, and one of the things that I try to get there is value for anybody that is creating tokens on that platform. So I think I'm going to go take my that collection and allow people to rent cards using basically any of the tokens that are found on the Hive Engine ecosystem, which could be dark energy crystals, or it could be Leo, or it could be Hive, or Swap.Hive in this case. It could be PAL, and I'm just going to try to be really open and accepting of all of these things. Because if I can help back these tokens, then those communities can help thrive, and if they start thriving, then that, we're all tied together, so that's going to lift all of us. And, if worst case scenario, I end up with a bunch of coins that nobody wants or uses, but, if my cards weren't rented anyways, and I don't think it's a big deal. So, hopefully if your guys are renting cards and just doing it through small delegations, following advice of Yasik, and JR Vacation sent me a post from one of his friends, again, one of these, I call them Splinterlands love stories, where, you come in, you're brand new, you rent a bunch of cards for cheap money and make it the gold, diamond, or champion, and make back your investment in a day, and then you have a couple weeks to play in the season, and it just compounds. So the rental prices to me are inexpensive, and there's still plenty of chance to earn, and this is still pre-SPS launch, or the Splinter Shards token launch, which is like a whole additional reward pool. And then literally when we get to the modern format and we add another format, we're doubling the Dark Energy Crystal reward pool. There's a lot more rewards to come. Land is coming, so there's going to be tons of opportunities to rent cards, rent land. And I just feel like if I have a lot of these assets that are available within the community just for rent using any of these tokens, maybe not any and all, but as close as I can get without really just opening myself up to scams, I think that'll be a benefit to the entire community, and I hope that's a win for all. So I'm sad to see the explicit use for YGG go away. I was looking forward to helping, but I think I still get the help because there's so many scholars and they're pouring in. To your point, we actually just put out a post, and let me see if I can pop this up. But one of our newest employees, Liberty Last over here, helped us put together some of the numbers that are happening in the game, and this chart is just the coolest thing ever. It's here's how our growth is going. Back a year ago in July, we were around 150 signups per day. Right now, we're just underneath 1,000. And this thing is just going gangbusters, which is amazing because we don't have any cards to sell right now. So everybody's coming in and they're like, there's nothing to to buy from Splinterlands. We're just buying off the market, and it's sending secondary market is flying, and I don't know. It's an amazing time to be part of this community. I've never seen anything like this, right? Like in our ecosystem, it's awesome. Are you hearing about that in the YGG crew?
Oh, well, I mean, not a whole lot of complaining about, hard to get assets or anything, but no, I mean, people are definitely there. There's a lot of experimentation. There's a lot of the Peak D, I think, yeah, Peak D is the blogging platform, right? Yeah, the blog posts about the, how to get to gold or diamond on a budget. Like, those are all getting wide circulation. A lot of people experimenting. I wish we'd gotten it going a little bit sooner. Then more of this first wave could have, gotten in really early. That would have been better, but this is the hand we've been dealt, and they're still getting in early. I think compared to the bigger picture, and I think a lot of people are going to be rewarded long term for participating now.
Yeah, especially with land. I mean, you guys got some regions in there too. I think, we're not that far away from doing the pre-sale for Chaos Legion. It'll be after the Splinter Shards token releases, and then we'll actually get into the real sale. Hopefully in the next, I don't know, I'm not going to say times because Matt will kill me, but, and then in the next couple, I don't know, in the next bit of time. Soon it'll be. So anyways, any kind of major updates? So we're getting rid of the delegation system. We're going to the rental system. We're seeing increased activity because other options aren't currently available due to scaling concerns. What else should we put into the summary?
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's anything worthy of being in the summary. We are, so just as an organization, we're kind of heads down. We've got our own token sale here in about a week and a half, which is, it's sort of like a DAO of DAOs is kind of the idea, with each game being a sub-DAO, which I intend to help found the sub-DAO for Splinterlands once we, figure out our play-to-earn model, or rather our earning on top of play-to-earn model for YGG, which I think might come a little bit later with lands and staking, but that's where we're ultimately headed. So expect there will be a sub-DAO of YGG devoted to Splinterlands as soon as we can figure out how to do that.
That's awesome. All right, well, maybe you and I should talk after this because I have some ideas.
Awesome. Yep.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on, Knight. Thanks for having this conversation. Thanks for helping to merge these two communities. If you guys haven't seen the Play to Earn documentary, I urge you to go check it out. And honestly, it's been killer to have that big giant community come join us, and I feel like it brings just a whole nother level to our game and a whole nother set of players, and it's really showing in our growth, and much to be grateful for and thankful for. So now that Night is done, let me just kind of give my bird's eye view of every single metric that I track is going off the charts. Every single thing that I have to offer, except a handful of dice and skins, are gone. So there's like the shelves are bare at Splinterlands. We're seeing card prices have risen sharply over the past period of time. No discussion of what might happen in the future, but we have certainly seen asset prices climb recently. We've seen 30,000 rental contracts in the first 10 days or so of the new rental system, and that leads to more than $100,000 worth of rentals going out to players. Tournaments are at the highest level they've ever been. We're at nearly $300,000 of tournament prizes that have gone out. The guilds are coming soon. The SPS token is really soon. And hopefully the lands that we reveal aren't that far off. Like, the hype is great. The new players are great. We're finally getting some publicity out there. Like, literally every single metric I could possibly track is doing, like, gangbusters. So that's what I'm excited about. So from the business side of this thing, I think it's going extraordinary, and I'm super pleased. So that's what I wanted to share as sort of my general overview. Matt, is there anything that you would like to share from the product team, sort of a general overview or general roadmap stuff, or what's on deck for the community here?
There's really so much big stuff over the next couple months. Kind of crazy, definitely overwhelming. I can't even sometimes remember everything. The biggest, I'll hit the highlights. The phase 2 of the guild brawls is going to be in QA testing very shortly. Cryptomancer's done a fantastic job on that. They'll probably, allow the Monster Mavericks to do a test brawl on the QA site and try out some of the new Gladiator cards, which we think are going to be really cool, and see how that all works. So that should hopefully be released, in the near future if there aren't too many issues in testing. Then the other big thing is Splinter Shards, which is going to launch. Both the token and the 1 year long airdrop is going to start by the end of this month. So, a lot of work has been going into that. Obviously, the airdrop system is pretty complicated, and it has to take snapshots across, I think, 6 different blockchain platforms at once. But that's coming along really well, and as everyone has talked about, we're all super excited for the FPS launch. And then a little bit further out after that, there's going to be Chaos Legion, and there's going to be the initial phase of Land, which will allow redeeming of the land claims for the actual boss and NFTs. So those are kind of the big roadmap items coming up.
That's amazing. Okay, so let's go answer some questions. Carrie pointed me to where we should go, and Carrie, please make sure that you and or Chris have a mic for later, because we're definitely going to want to talk about Digicon. And I think I saw that Nate is awake. So Nate, if you get your mic ready and kind of prep some eye candy, some Splinterlands eye candy for later, I think that would go over really well. So that's exciting stuff. It looks like the first question here is from Fantasy Crypto. So this is a question for the 716 AMA. Will land claims for land pools be split up before the daily SPS airdrop? So if you own a tract or a region, will you be able to break that down into something smaller before the SPS airdrop starts?
We've addressed this a few times, but it's good to go over it again. They won't be able to be split up until the first phase of land is released, which will definitely be after the FPS airdrop starts. But that should not be an issue for people who have land pools, because whoever is holding the region token, is the one who will just have to split up the FPS rewards from that region token among the people in the pool. So I might suggest that they put the region token in a separate account that only has that token and nothing else, and then it'd just be very easy to just take the SPS earnings in that account and split them up, to the people in the pool.
Will that account have to have a spellbook, or will it be able to earn SPS even if it doesn't have a spellbook?
Good question. No, it does not need to have a spellbook. It doesn't need to have anything. But you may want to, have an actual Hive account so you can get your account keys. And you can do that either by purchasing a spellbook or by creating a free Hive account through Hive Blog or PC or any of the other Hive sites and services. But the accounts don't need to have anything. They don't need to make any purchases. If they have any assets, they'll still be eligible for the FPS rewards.
Awesome, thank you. All right, Jarvy's asking chaos questions. Will the pack price increase as you were planning to increase the rewards for players by SPS tokens? If the SPS token and playing rewards go crazy high and causes a rush on Chaos Legion, would you be fine with a super fast sellout? Would you do anything to make sure Chaos Legion lasted a certain amount of time so you don't have to immediately start developing another edition? Or is this something you like spending time on? So pack increases. Do you imagine that we're going above $2?
I hadn't really planned on it, although we haven't designed the economy for Chaos Legion yet, so I can't say anything for sure. But, I mean, one thing is definitely for sure is that there will be a good bit more Chaos Legion packs available than there were Unchained packs, and that just, that goes along with the growth of the game. And that's typically how we kind of ensure that the packs last for, a reasonable amount of time. So when deciding how many packs, we will look at our current level of purchasing and growth and kind of extrapolate that over roughly a year's time. and do our best to estimate the number of packs that will last for that long.
Yeah.
Um,
So let me go to the next one. If SBS token and playing rewards go crazy high and causes a rush on Chaos Legion, would you be fine with a super fast sellout? I imagine there might be two different answers here. The sales and business guy says yes, that would be amazing. Matt, the developer, says,
I mean, it's just unrealistic. Again, we're gonna factor in our expected growth in demand with the amount of pack. So we'll try to target a year. Maybe it will be half that or something, which would be great. Again, it would mean the business is going very well, and we'll deal with that. We'll figure out the best way forward at that point. But also at that point, hopefully, the DAO will be live, and a lot of this will be in players' hands to kind of vote on if or when a new edition will come out, and some of the details of that. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
all right, I'm going to skip that next question because I feel like we addressed it with an hour or the 1 year time frame. Mad Gall is asking, are you worried about our stablecoin DEC price going too high in the following months? People are holding dark energy crystals for splinter shards, while more dark energy crystals will be needed for upcoming expansions. Then, since Untamed sold out, no upper wall exists to dark energy crystal prices. Meanwhile, with the two separate leaderboards, more dark energy crystals would be printed and available. Tell us your thoughts about this. Thanks, guys. Or I think it's, are you worried about the price going too high?
I mean, not really. I mean, for one, it's generally good if the price increases as players earn dark energy crystals. Obviously, if it goes like ridiculously high, that wouldn't be great for the game, as it's intended to be relatively stable. But as you mentioned in the question, typically what happens is the amount of rewards will increase as the price increases, and as we add new things to the game and there's more demand and all that stuff. And that generally will serve as some selling pressure to keep the price relatively stable, which is how these sort of algorithmic type stable coins work. It's, when there's increased demand, then increased supply gets created. But the difference between like fiat currencies and algorithmic stable coins is that instead of like the government benefiting from the increased demand, the players do. And it's not because your token price goes up, but it's just because you earn more of those tokens through playing. So as there's more demand for dark energy crystals, more dark energy crystals are given out as rewards, and that means players earn more dark energy crystals.
And I just, some of this design, it puts us in a category of DeFi, and we're kind of gamified DeFi. So we try to, Matt more than me, but we look at other tools and resources that are part of the ecosystem and figure out how do we bring in the best of what's working in other places, and how do we avoid the pitfalls that we've seen in other areas. We don't just do this entirely in our own little bubble. There's tons of really awesome projects out there, and we try to snipe little bits and pieces and reshape them and put them into the Splinterlands ecosystem to help make something as cool and awesome as what we want, but for you all to benefit from. I'm going to move down to the next set of questions here. This is Moriarty 95. It's at 5:38 a.m. Can somebody please record this AMA? I am recording it, and I'll put it up, and I can see voices coming in okay. Sorry about the last one. When do you expect the SBS airdrop? He said by the end of the month. And land claims to go live. I don't think that we have a current update on when the land claims go live. Do you want to put a potential target range of dates?
I mean, I don't have a date for it yet. I mean, because a lot of these things, once you get closer to being done, you also find out a bunch of other things that were unexpected that came up that may push it back. But SPS airdrop is pretty much all ready to go, definitely at the end of the month. Expect an announcement with like the exact details next week, and land claims will be as soon as possible after that. Okay.
Any news or more detailed information about the land expansion and its mechanics? We haven't heard anything for a while. Anything that we want to share about the sort of spreadsheets that have been created, or some of the economic designs, or we're pushing all numbers till later?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's ready to share now, or we would have shared it. But we've kind of shared all the plans and designs that we have at this point, and we're working on putting more detail into that. But really, right now, the focus is on that initial land claim redemption, in the map and all that stuff, and the details of crafting and harvesting resources is going to be a little bit later than that.
Do you have any? Do you intend to put an element of luck into crafting and mining, so that there's a chance to be successful or percent chance to do something? And could you increase that number with totems, monsters, and buildings, higher level summoners, higher level monsters, or whatever? Is there luck to crafting?
I don't think we have planned on luck for crafting or mining or harvesting resources themselves, but then there will be, you mentioned like getting totems or totem parts, and when we discussed when we announced kind of the details of the totem, that'll be something that there'll be random chance of finding through your use of the land, and that will definitely be affected by the level of the buildings and monsters and all that stuff. And there may be additional things like totems that will be chance based on the land.
Yeah, but then weren't we going to do it so that there's some chance when you're crafting an item, what item you're going to get?
Oh yeah, sorry. I guess I was really just thinking about like resource production.
Yeah. But for the actual crafting, there's randomized chance of what element or what item or spell you're going to create.
Right, yeah, so you'll put in the resources, and it won't be like, I'm going to craft this, staff of fire. You'll put in the resources and get one of the available items or spells that, can be made with those resources. So, it's sort of like opening packs. You could get a legendary, and you can do things to increase your chance of getting a legendary or epic, rare, common, and gold foil equivalent.
Yeah. All right. That answer feels better to me.
Yeah,
all right. Why does Divine Shield not protect against noxious fumes?
Oh well, Moriarty had a couple more questions there.
Well, he had Wen Moon. Oh, and any new information about titles? Are the titles we had set a value during the Kickstarter? Are we providing title holders with any kind of value in regards to SPS airdrop points?
Title, right. So the SPS airdrop, there's airdrop points for titles, and you can see that in the SPS token white paper, the amount of points for that. They're significant.
And and utility and land?
Yeah, they're going to have utility and land, but again, none of the details of that are ready.
All right. Wen Moon, I mean, if you guys aren't happy with 5 million market cap growth over the last 5 days, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it's 7 days, but it was a lot. Divine Shield, did you answer that against noxious fumes?
Yeah, no, I didn't. That could definitely be a bug, so I'll add that to the list. Thanks for reporting it.
You posted some insane numbers recently in Maverick's house. Those are like publicly generated numbers about user growth and sales. What are your plans in terms of growing the team to help you meet your goals of 50,000 active users? A lot of this still comes down to getting this community to interact and help us. As we grow, to me, I would really like it if everybody is sharing. This stuff is going on social media. Hopefully you guys can share the stream on social media. Hopefully you can share some posts. I'd like everybody to use the hashtags play to earn and hashtag Splinterlands. And my goal is to get... The way I'm going to do this is not by hiring a giant team of 50,000 people. Matt and I are not going to be able to manage that effectively. Maybe we could, but it's just, that's not what I think we need. I think we need this entire community jazzed up, excited, going out there and telling other people, are you guys nuts? You're missing out on Splinterlands. The freaking SPS is about to hit. You guys have like weeks before this thing is live, and you are the ones that have the very earliest access to this governance token. Maybe go look at the Axie Infinity governance token, see how that's done, and then make your own decisions of whether or not that's something that you might want to try to get in on the day that this Splinterlands one launches. That might be something that you're just happy collecting SPS tokens as part of your airdrop and you're playing, or maybe you want to earn some for providing liquidity, or maybe you'd actually like to purchase some on the market. And those are all your decisions. But that thing, the Axie one has done well and it's cool, and maybe that's something that you can review. But no, it's not going to be by us hiring 8 million more people. I don't think that's the trick for decentralized stuff. You guys, if you want to see this community go as moon as possible, it's up to you all to take a personal stance and say, I'm going to invite people into this. And this is a community that I'm proud of. This is a game that I love. This is a market that is fun and exciting. We like owning, we like earning, and we want our friends to be here. And hopefully that's a message you can share with hashtag Splinterlands and hashtag Play to Earn. Bravo's asking a ton of questions here. When can we expect to have land, totems, and titles tradable in-game?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's currently in development, but generally our highest priority right now is getting SPF out. So, hopefully that can be done and released not too long after that.
Yeah, and then Atomic Hub will come after that because it's not like we're just going to hold them here. But
yeah, it's just like it's a bit of a pain to get each new type of NFT supported on Atomic Hub. I mean, it's easy to put it on Atomic Hub, but then to do the bridging between Atomic Hub and the game platform. So, that's why we just didn't include those originally, because it was already taking a while to get that out when we were building it. So we'll just have to see, when it makes sense, when it's worth it.
IGN CPA Nathan is asking, could we get rental quests? Rentals are booming already for use in gameplay. Quests would be a good flow too. I think that's cool. What do you think about win a match with rented cards or all rented cards or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, possibly. I guess people who have their own cards and aren't renting could just skip that quest.
Yep.
So I generally want to just be careful to make sure quests kind of are applicable for pretty much everyone. So that's an interesting idea. I just want to think it through and get player feedback on it before saying that we'll put it in.
Thoughts on adding market stats for each individual card when viewing the in-game market? I like to see a chart of the sale prices, not listing prices for each card. I'm going to try to put words into Matt's mouth. Let me know how I do. This is a good idea, and it's a cool thing to have. There's lots of people that can build third-party markets to do exactly that with on-chain data. We really have to focus on the core game components that we're building. So while we like it and would love to see it happen, we're really going to have to rely on third-party developers to do that. That was my Matt impression. How did I do?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
All right. I listen to you all the time, bud. I've learned so much from... I don't know if you guys know this, but I love Matt. This guy is amazing. He's a mad genius, and I hope you guys hear the amount of respect. This guy is incredible. And when we're all benefiting in this ecosystem, so much of this goes to his intelligence, his work ethic, and his care that he takes of this community. It is an honor to work with him, and it is fun. So I hope that people feel that and appreciate him because he's amazing. Jester Ago, you're welcome. Jester Ago is asking, first off, the in-game rental market is great. Would it be possible when I'm looking at my cards in-game to have for rent filter so the cards listed for rent do not show up under the for sale filter?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think there's a lot of little things like that should be added in. I mean, in general, I think there was a lot of questions that I saw further down just about more filtering and sorting options, which I've noted down in previous AMAs also. So, again, kind of to an earlier question about growing the team, we have been growing our team, especially the developers. So I'm hoping, it takes some time to ramp new people up, but I'm hoping that a lot of these little things that have been building up while we've been working on so many major features, we can start to have some other newer developers start to just crank these things out. They are important, even though they're smaller and not huge projects. That's a good one.
This is not a real question, but question, is time passing right now on Splinterlands? And if so, does the rate of time pass the same in Splinterlands as the real world? Also, what year are we in? This is a good question. I thought this was kind of a fake question of, is Splinterlands time the same? But that's actually like a lore question. So Let me see. Chris Roberts is here. I'm going to leave this one to Chris Roberts to answer. Okay, so SPS is going live with liquidity on dexes before the airdrop. Do we know when? Do you want to share anything about our go-to-market strategy with partners, or are we? I'm leaving this up to you, Matt.
Yeah, just to the previous question real quick, not to step on Chris Roberts' potential answer. I do sometimes feel like, I'm on a spaceship going, the speed of light or past the black hole, and there's like time dilation happening sometimes where it's like a day or a week goes by and I feel like it's been a year, those of you who are, are into theory of relativity should understand that. But,
way to apply to everybody there. Yes. We're all equally enthralled. I dig at that.
Yeah, watch the movie Interstellar if you want to see some crazy stuff with that. Anyway, as far as SPS going live, the liquidity and the airdrop are pretty much planned to start around the same time. I think initially we thought we might, create the token and release it and start the liquidity pool first, but at this point it's probably going to be at the same time, which will be in the last week of July. Up pretty soon, and next week we're planning to announce like all the full details of that.
This question comes up a lot. Will Splinterlands as a company benefit from the airdrop for the liquidity that this company or its affiliates, I'm not sure what to call them, will we benefit from SPS airdrop, or are we going to exclude the business entity from that?
Well, everyone will benefit equally because the airdrop and everything. For the airdrop, any Splinterlands held assets are not going to count for the airdrop. For liquidity rewards, they would, but I think a lot of the liquidity is going to come initially, at least, from the SPS Foundation tokens. So it'll be the DAO Foundation that will earn the rewards for that liquidity, which will be ultimately owned by the SPS token holders, and will be earning rewards for them to potentially use on whatever they vote through the DAO to use it on.
That's a great answer.
Hopefully that makes sense.
All right, are the game servers deployed on-prem or on the cloud? On-prem, I guess that means on permanent servers. On premises. If on the cloud, how can I apply for a job to help you build the right scaling technology? With a little wink emoji.
They are hosted on the cloud, and feel free to DM me and we can talk about that. At the moment, I feel like we have a pretty good team and have a good scaling strategy. But also especially with things like AWS and the cloud providers, they make scaling pretty easy from that perspective. But the fact that we're every single transaction on the game is on the blockchain means that we have to we can't parallelize as much as typical games, typical projects, because we have to process every blockchain transaction in the exact order that it comes in. So happy to talk and see if there's an opportunity for you to help out. But I think we have a pretty good team working on this.
Will there be 3D animations of our monster summoners when they are working on our plots? Also, are there plans to have 3D animations of our monster summoners in the futures for battle as well?
There aren't currently any 3D plans for any of that stuff right now.
Well, we do have like some animation. Maybe it's not 3D, but we do have some animators that we're looking at bringing on.
Yeah, definitely. I was saying specifically not like 3D type stuff.
Okay.
So it'll be 2D similar screens to what we have in the game currently, for the near future at least.
Will the number of leagues be the same between Modern and Wild, including Champions?
Currently, that's the plan. Yeah.
Will there be a separate energy capture rate for each of the ranked formats?
Also a good question. I think that makes sense, but I haven't, these are the type of things we decide for sure when we're actually building the thing, because, even whatever we might decide now, once we get into actually building it, a lot of things, details come up that we may not have considered, so we got to make the decision at that time. But I do think that generally makes sense to keep kind of everything separate.
Homestead Hacker, when SBS drops happen, will there be a front end that shows a breakdown of how the amount we receive is calculated, or will the drop just show up in our wallets? Have we
No, definitely. Yeah, there's an awesome UI that Nate created. You want me to like grab a screenshot of that?
Nate's here. Let's ask the team members to put that in.
Yeah, Nate, if you can drop an example screenshot of what the SPS management screen will look like. It detailed your airdrop points and from all the different sources, and you'll have to actively claim it from each blockchain platform on which you hold assets. So they won't just automatically be credited to your account. You'll have to claim them, and the amount available to claim will increase every day as the daily snapshots are taken. So you can claim them every day if you want, or you can wait and claim them after a year or 2 years or whatever. That's up to you. I would recommend claiming them, as quickly as possible.
Yeah, they're compounded.
You can stake them and use them, but that's up to you.
Are the cards unlimited in their quantities? This is today at 7:56. I'll answer it. The answer is no. The cards all have limits. No card in our game has an unlimited supply. I'm scrolling down a bunch. This is Neil McSpadden at 8:03 p.m. Cooldown is really confusing now. Is there an API call to tell if a card is on cooldown?
There are API calls to get the details of a card from which you can determine if it's on cooldown. It's not a simple like yes, it's on cooldown or no. Actually, I think there was a lot of confusion with peak monsters, and they were having a lot of issues showing cooldown correctly. I don't think it's actually very confusing. So just like real quick, off the top of my head, a card is on cooldown if it has been transferred, which also counts as sold on the market, includes transferred, or delegated not through the rental system within the past 7 days, and it was also played by another account within the past 7 days. So if that's the case, then it's on cooldown. Otherwise, it's not. So that's really all it is. But if you want, I'd be happy to, after the AMA, show you how to get that information from the API call if you want.
How many signups were there today?
Good question. Let me see real quick if I can pull that.
He's going to pull that up.
Trying to talk slowly while it loads.
Unit QM's next question is going to be: are there concerns about scaling too fast and not having an affordable option for new players to purchase assets? Look, we try not to have very long periods where there's nothing for sale from the game. So I do think that this isn't meant to be like a year long, we're not going to have anything. Like we really think it's important to make it affordable for new players to join the ecosystem, to have this, modern format where you're not required to have the mega stack of everything. You can compete, maybe you're only a bronze league, but you can compete with like $20, which in some countries is still a lot of money, but then you can rent cards and there's all kinds of ways around it. We can't build a capitalist game for every single situation, but we try to make this thing pretty available to players. All right, were you able to grab a sign up number?
Yeah, there was 1,462 signups today, and it's been over 1,000 signups for the last 5 days in a row, which is
extraordinary.
The most ever. There was also a new high for spellbook purchases today at 267.
Holy
and a lot
crap.
of that is, a lot of that's because not a lot of the players who sign up don't necessarily buy the spellbook right away on their first day. So the spellbook purchases sort of lag signups, a little bit. So as like signups jumped a lot, then a few days later, we're starting to see spellbook purchases jump a lot as people, those large 1,000+ people who joined 5 days ago, 4 days ago, 3 days ago, some of them are starting to purchase the spellbooks. And we have a new email campaign for new players through a third-party service that we're using, and Chris Roberts has set that all up and managing it. So it, we'll email new players, a day after they joined, and then a few 3 days and up to 7 days after they join if they haven't purchased the spell book with, just some more information and reasons why they may want to purchase the spell book. And there's also the ability to like A/B test different email content and try to see what works the best to get the most people to want to be involved.
All right. No Tech is asking at 8:04, how are the changes to increase the flexibility of delegations going? Is there an estimated date for completion? Also, is it planned to provide flexibility on what you need an active key, or would you allow people to play an account without the owner of the account providing the posting key to the player?
The first thing, which is already ready to go, but needs some time to review and get released, is the active key flexibility. So being able to choose specifically which transactions require the active key and which require the posting key. And then after that, we're going to add in the delegation, the more granular delegation option. And there's kind of more involved with the delegation stuff, like how do we let people operate with an account that delegated authority to them through the website and stuff like that. There's more work to do there. So I don't have an exact date on those things, but hopefully soon, because most of the work is done.
Question, do you ever plan on nerfing overpowered cards, or how do you plan to balance the game to avoid some cards from being really strong in some rule sets? I can answer that in one word. Governance. You guys do it. Don't ask us. We're going to ask you. And you guys can vote on it as a SPS token holding community. Does that sound right to you, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. And as for the second part of the question, though, kind of the whole point of the game is that some cards are really strong in some rule sets and not strong in other rule sets, which is part of the whole point of the game. So I think that's
a feature. It's a feature, not a bug.
Right. So if a card is like super strong in the majority of rule sets, then that may be an issue. But yeah, it's a big part of the game is knowing which cards to use in which rule sets.
UnitQM, is there any way to tie Discord username officially to the Splinterlands accounts? When did that new email campaign start? That's amazing! And then, has Splinterlands ever banned a player? So, tie Discord usernames to official Splinterlands accounts. You can do that with the registration command in the registration room. So if you type #registration, you can tie your Splinterlands account to your Discord name. There's not really a way in the game to tie or let people know what your game account is in Discord. Is that something we could add?
Yeah, definitely. I think I think a more tight integration with Discord in the game would be good. I mean, one thing that's not related to tying accounts necessarily, but that is in progress, is a notification service. So you'll be able to sign up for Discord notification when things happen in the game. So you could, just say, I want to get a notification when any card is sold from my account or from this list of accounts, and you'll get a Discord notification every time you sell a card with the a picture of the card and all that stuff, and it'll also allow email notifications. So I think I think that'll be really helpful and useful for people, including myself. And the real most important thing is you'll be able to get notifications if a card is unlocked, or the unlock process has started for a card in your account, which could potentially mean that your account was hacked, and you need to change your keys, and will allow you to do so, before you actually lose any assets.
When did that new email campaign start? That is amazing. That was like a month ago?
Yeah, about a month ago, roughly.
I'm proud.
And yes, it is amazing. So we got to thank Chris for really just doing everything on that.
Fine work, Chris. And then has Splinterlands ever banned a player?
Yeah, that's a good question that definitely came up earlier today. So to be clear, Splinterlands, we can't ban someone from interacting with the game. Anyone can submit transactions to the blockchain and play and battle and do everything that's available in the game. But the whole point of a blockchain-based game is that we can't stop anyone from doing that. And there are a lot of interfaces to interact with the Hive blockchain outside of the Splinterlands.com website. But we do control and own and operate the Splinterlands website, and other services that we provide for players.
I want to specify the front end. The front end, the interface. We own the interface. The back end, the back end is really like ultimately lives on the Hive blockchain. Not entirely, but we don't own the Hive blockchain. We don't operate the Hive blockchain where you put your custom JSON, but we do own that front end, and we do have the right to not allow people to interact. Do you want to talk about why or what caused that?
Yeah, well, I mean, another example of a service we provide that we can ban or block people from using is the ability to purchase credits and use credits within the game. That's basically a convenience feature that we provide. It's not necessary, as anyone can get dark energy crystals from various third-party markets that we have no control over. But if you want to more conveniently purchase things in the game, we allow using credits. So, and there are terms and conditions, there are terms of service on the website, and in the event that players violate the terms of service, we will block them from being able to use the website and other services that we provide. But they're always still able to, access any assets they have and participate in the game. It just would have to be through another interface.
Yep. How big is the Splinterlands team? I'm about 5'9" and a little over 200 pounds. That's a joke.
I'm not even going to comment on that. I'm saying I think we're about 15 people right now.
Byzantinist is asking, with the new rental system allowing for one-day rentals, Yasik has demonstrated that one can get from 0 rating to Gold League with only 48 Dark Energy Crystals spent on rentals, and then the Champion League with another 668 Dark Energy Crystals spent. That's not a question, but question, how does Splinterlands intend to deal with human and bots? So what do you think about the fact that you can get to Champion League for less than 1 Dark Energy Crystal per day spent on rentals?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's awesome, and I think it just means that rental cards are underpriced, and so I look to see the market do its magic and start to accurately price things over time. But also the rental system, just like kind of any new things we release, it changes a lot of things, and everything in the game is all interconnected. So making any change in one place affects things all over the place. So I try to anticipate problems, but not necessarily deal with every problem we think might be a problem ahead of time. So that's definitely something that the Byzantinist and other people have brought up, and we're aware that it may be an issue, and we're going to wait and we're going to see exactly what is happening before we decide on what may or may not need to be changed to address it. And I just think it's too early right now to say that.
All right. Well, I'm pretty far behind on questions, so we're going to go a little bit faster to go answer these, and because we still need to get the Digicon folks. I still want to talk to Nate, and I still want to talk to Cryptomancer about Brawls. So we're going to do some kind of we're going to be less thorough in our answers. We're going to do some speed questions, and please stop asking questions. Save them for next week.
I could stay on a little longer if you're up for that.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna, but we shouldn't be here 2 hours every week. We should be. I mean, this is kind of a big week because we're leading up to SBS, and it's okay that we're going a little long. But in general, I want to try to keep this to an hour every time. Not everybody has a couple hours to do this, and it's unfair to sort of give extra time to some and not whatever. Anyways, how does Splinterlands intend to deal with humans and bots that farm the system for rewards, since now they can maximize? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Somehow I found myself matched up with opponents with high ranks at the beginning of the season. Is it fine like this? I mean, do you have any plans to adjust the matchmaking, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that comes down to, how many people are playing at that particular time, at that particular league. And the matchmaking system does its best to match people up with, as close to their rating as possible, while also not, matching them up with someone they just played, if possible. But especially at the beginning of the season, there's not as many people playing as there are at the end of the season. So the matchups can be a little more off. But on the flip side,
that we're going to stop it there.
Yeah,
so,
go
is there any plan for slight interface changes, sorting cards by name, etc.? Additional, any plans on implementing statistics for such as rarity, chance, and boosters, dodge chance, hit chance directly in the game?
So yeah, I think we talked about this a little earlier. We definitely want to do a bunch of those little interface changes when we can. I kind of like that all that statistic stuff is on third-party websites, but I'm open to having my mind changed on that.
All right, Cryptomancer's asking at 11, with the value of dark energy crystals currently above the peg, that could be looked at as a disadvantage for people in liquidity pools as far as SPS airdrops are concerned, since airdrop points aren't tied to dollar value. As dark energy crystal goes up, your dark energy crystal in pool versus stablecoin goes down. It also costs more than other coins to establish a liquidity pool position. If the value of dark energy crystal stays above the peg for an extended duration of time, would you consider making the airdrop points for dark energy crystals in liquidity pools fluctuate dynamically or be modified in some way to compensate? A simple way to be to tie airdrop points to the total dollar value in the liquidity pool rather than a flat 2 points per dark energy crystal in the pool.
I'm gonna say no, just because you don't know how involved this whole airdrop system is already, and we announced it's going to be 2 points. People may have made decisions with that, so we're sticking with that. And these type of things are what people need to keep in mind with where they put their assets. I mean, and additionally, you earn rewards for adding DEC and liquidity pools aside from the airdrop, so that can factor into your decisions as well.
So I see. I'm looking for the ones with question. So at 8:12, Gigas is asking, can anyone take part in the pre-sale for Chaos Legion, or is it private? What is the one thing that you are definitely going to need in order to participate in the pre-sale for Chaos Legion?
Yeah, it will definitely not be private. It will be public to everyone who has SPS tokens staked in their account.
And it will. If you have one staked, can that allow you to participate as much as you want, or will it be proportional with the amount of packs you would like to purchase?
It will definitely be proportional, and that will go for the Chaos Legion pre-sale and pretty much every sale and promotion we do in the future. So if you plan to take part in purchasing assets, and just maximizing your rewards in the game, you're going to want to stake a significant amount of SPS tokens.
This is great. Yasik is asking, is it possible to rent a card for another account? As in, Smalp would pay to put a card on Yasik.
I don't think that's possible right now. What you've highlighted there is sort of what sites like Peak Monsters use. When you give them rental authority, then they can make the transaction on your behalf, but you would still pay the dark energy crystals.
Getting a third party to do that would be cool.
Yeah,
we'll put it on the map. All right, down here at 8:14, guys, is there any chance to have a summoner named Grapthar? He's always summoned people into Telegram, trivias, and helping anyone there. Maybe the first neutral summoner. We like Grapthar. If there's enough support in the community, I would actually be willing to do that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't name most of the cards, so I just know what I'm given.
Mr. RKO is asking, will there be paid promotions for Splinterlands on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter? I don't know. That stuff doesn't always work really well. We're not like a perfect fit for that. There's stuff that we'll do that is marketing that we will spend money on, but those things have not historically worked that well.
But also a lot of the people involved in the SPS token pre-sale, they either have large followings on some of those platforms or know people that do, and so I think there's going to be a significant increase in promotion for Splinterlands just with part of that FPS launch.
When will the mobile version get the full set of features as the browser version? That answer might be, when will U.S. regulation and when will Google and Apple be as friendly as just having your own web browser?
Yeah, and I don't think that's what it means. I mean, the mobile version is just behind because we don't have the resources available to build everything for mobile. And the answer might be never, because every time, by the time we build more stuff on mobile, there's more stuff being released on desktop too. So, again, we are working on growing the team and getting more people available to help work on the mobile stuff more quickly. But in general, desktop version is our first and main priority, and we just we try to have the mobile version catch up as fast as we can.
Jens is asking, can we get a specific date for the Splinter Shards token release? And we just said by the end of this month. We didn't give a date.
We'll announce the date next week.
All right.
would be the official.
Pepping is asking, are land sale coming back in the shop, or is it all sold out and can only be bought through third-party sites? It is all sold out. It is possible a couple years down the road there might be some other type of land, maybe for one of our expansion games or something, but if you want items and spells, this is the only land, and this is the only way to go make it happen. So if you hope to be part of that ecosystem of producers, not users or consumers, but if you'd like to be a producer, you have to have land. Unit QM is asking, Digicon and programs like New Boost give out lots of cards, dark energy crystals to lots of accounts. Is a tool that can make multiple transactions to multiple users at the same time technically possible?
I mean, yeah, it's totally possible. It shouldn't even be that hard. You can message me and we could, find someone that can just make that for you real quick.
All right, question. If my assets are spread out across multiple accounts, am I losing out on SPS rewards? Should everything be on one account? Basically, is this like a linear rewards, or is there somehow exponential aspects to it?
No, it's linear. It doesn't matter, on one account or 1,000 accounts. You'll get the same exact total amount of points.
When regarding the packs, aren't you considering to put any purchase limit per account? Or is it just strictly, it'll be proportional to SPS, but we're not going to put any other limits than that, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's just, the SPS thing is just going to be for the pre-sale of Chaos Legion. I mean, once it's actually live, then players can buy packs, whether or not they have any SPS stake. But there may be additional benefits, like, more or higher probability of airdrops and things like that with SPS stake. And yeah, we don't ever plan to put any purchase limits per account, because then people would just make multiple accounts if they wanted to purchase more.
All right, Last Dragon's asking, do you plan on putting pack purchases into the game market, like rentals? The answer to that is yes, some later point. Is there any way to determine how much dark energy crystal is in existence? Does the circulating supply on Hive Engine capture everything?
Yeah, the circulating supply on Hive Engine should be accurate for dark energy crystals everywhere.
Unit QM, how do you all get unblocked from Twitter? Do you have a point of contact at Twitter that can assist if issues arrive in the future? We got unblocked because the marketing team, primarily Chris and Carrie, were relentless in bugging Twitter. And then we also did the free Splinterlands, which was in part directed and thought of by our PR firm Market Across, and we were able to go leverage that to get some big articles written about us. It was our rite of passage, and we just harassed them, and we also just didn't break rules. I mean, it looks like we got lumped in with a bunch of other guys that got crypto beaten down. But anyways, moving on. Will there be a launch pool? I'm just looking for the stuff that has a question in the front. Question from Twitter. Could you make a blog your battle button to get people doing the social Hive stuff where they could earn more? You have share, but it could go straight to starting a post with some parts filled in. What do you think of that, Matt?
Yeah, sure. I mean, all these things are great ideas. We just need to get people to do them while the rest of us are focusing on the major features. So I'll put that on the kind of list of smaller features that hopefully some of the new people can work on.
Gigas is asking, will there be new titles that players can earn in the future? I think the short answer
definitely.
is yes. Like this pre-sale, Matt and I haven't talked about this. I'll see him on Monday, but I do think that there's a spot for do this thing and get this title, or I don't think we're gonna use Kickstarter again. It's too much work, and it's 10% of the money to Kickstarter, but. I think we're going to have hopefully some tiers. I don't know, Matt might kill me, but I'd love to have tiers where there's a couple rewards that you can get if you spend X amount of money in the pre-sale. But we'll see. No promises. Who knows? Will landowners receive splinter shards for the value of their land? Is land included in the airdrop?
Yes, land is definitely included. Each plot worth, so like a tract is 100 plots and a region is 1,000 plots, each plot is worth 10,000 airdrop points. And there's airdrop calculators and all that stuff to figure out how much you might get.
Will there be any suspensions against the bots, or will they stay completely legal? Our general goal with bots is to make sure that there's no advantage, but we're not particularly banning them. we do everything we can to make sure there's no advantage, and we as a company don't incentivize creating bots. But it's a decentralized thing. You guys get to do this, and we shouldn't be trying to distinguish between accounts. So
yeah, and it goes back to what we talked about before. Like we can't ban or suspend anyone from participating in the game. We can stop them from using the Splinterlands website, but bots don't do that anyway. And that's the whole point of this game. So if you want something where, the company that makes it can block or suspend people from participating in the game, there are lots of great games on the app stores that do that. But if you want a blockchain-based, and more decentralized game, where the assets have real value and you own your cards and all the benefits that come with that, it means that everyone and anyone is allowed to participate, and it's up to us to design the game properly so that bots hopefully don't have any advantage over human players.
Is there any issue purchasing credits in game? It always says purchase limit exceeded, but I haven't purchased anything in 2 days.
Yeah, so I mean, when making purchases with fiat and USD through PayPal or the app store, there are limits that are based on a bunch of things to help prevent fraud and chargeback issues that we run into. So if anyone runs into purchasing limits, they can contact support, and we can review their account and potentially increase the limit.
Did you consider setting up referral codes for spellbooks? We actually have that. Maybe referrers can get 1% of the dark energy crystals earned by players referred, or some similar incentives. Yeah, it's actually set at 5% of what they spend at the store. So we do that. Anyways, so Vanden is asking, was Splinter Shards making Splint a decentralized autonomous org? Is this like profit sharing? Is there info on how much revenue is between players versus the game business entity?
Well, so it's not necessarily making Splinterlands, the game, a decentralized organization. It's the Splinter Shards token is itself a DAO, and it will be integrated with Splinterland, and there's mutual benefit to both parties.
Yeah, stop there. That. So get packs and like no. Will totems also come to Atomic Hub Wax to be tradable on the Wax blockchain?
We talked about that, but maybe if we can get the time to do that.
All right. So what's the vision for achievements and what rewards will come from them? Achievement specific cards. We're still punting on achievements a little bit, but it's not off the radar. It's just we have higher priorities. But like Matt says, we're hiring developers. Somebody will get achievements done, and we'll know more when we get there. Coronavirus is asking, so from what I understand, when renting in V2, cards that come out of renting are not in cooldown. Could this feature be abused to rent cards to accounts owned by the same person so multiple accounts could use the same cards without cooldowns? Please correct me if I misunderstood.
Yeah, it's possible, and like we talked about earlier, that's something we're going to review and pay attention to, and if it's a problem, we'll deal with it.
Here's some Matt love. Lots of people love Matt. Question, I noticed all the ranking examples, Crypto Slam and other only take in account Wax volume when high volume is crushing it. Will volume be combined and shared to ranking websites? That's kind of out of our hands.
Yeah, that's up to the websites. We know Hive is not one of the most popular chains out there. So some ranking websites, take Hive volume into account, and some don't.
Could we get a card setting to prevent it from being combined if I were to click the combine all button? That would actually be pretty useful as a guy that just combined 10,000 cards.
Yeah, I guess so. That's feature we could do.
Yep. Question from Facebook from Liberty Lass. When will guys consider bringing back the promo code? If not, just a future suggestion, can you guys make it like a free trial period for interested players so they could experience the gameplay even if it would be free to play during the free trial period? That's actually not a bad idea. What do you think about promo codes as like a 1 month thing? Or is that...
Well, I mean, so people can play the game, for free and try it out now, and you just don't earn rewards. So you come, you play the game, you try it out, and then if you want to really get involved and create your account and own your assets and earn rewards, then you can purchase the spellbook. We do still give out promo codes for the spellbook, just much more sparingly, as they pretty much always ended up getting abused in the past.
Byzantinus is asking, for context, for tournament entry fees, there is a 1,000 Dark Energy Crystal threshold, or 1,000 Dark Energy Crystals or less tournaments can be entered with only the posting key, but anything over 1,000 Dark Energy Crystals requires the active key. How does it work for rentals? Can rentals, or rentals under a certain Dark Energy Crystal limit, be made with just the posting key? If there is a threshold, what is it, or do rentals always require the active key authority?
At the moment, rentals can be done for any amount with posting key, but like I talked about earlier, there's going to be new settings coming out in the near future, like more granular settings on what requires the active key and what requires the posting key, so people can set that up however they want to do it.
All right, you guys keep putting in new stuff. I feel like I'm getting through it, but I'm not getting anywhere. Stop asking questions. The clouds part, a beam of light shoots down from the heavens, and here's this beautiful, beautiful page, with different ways to claim, different ways to see it, approximate value. There's so much information on this page. SPS management is a thing of beauty. All right, when will we need a new wallet to hold the SPS? No, if you look in the top right-hand corner of this image, the whitish shard or the yellowish shard in the top right, that's actually the Splinter shards. So it'll be right there in game. Questions?
Yeah, just to be clear, you won't need a Binance Smart Chain wallet to hold Splinter shards. You can hold them in your game wallet.
Will you be getting rid of cooldowns, especially to facilitate rentals? I thought this had been mentioned, but I may be mistaken. No, rental, it's still there.
Rentals don't have cooldowns, but everything else still have cooldowns just the same as always. And, in general, I'd like to reduce or get rid of cooldowns across the board if we can, and sort of the rental system not having cooldowns is like a way we can see how that goes and what problems might arise.
After Land is launched and tweaked, SPS drops and guild upgrades are functioning. What's next? after your 6 months of work are done, what are you doing after that? We'll get there later. I'm starting to build and design a tactics game. That's one of the things that's out there in the kind of like long-term horizon. But we have plenty of stuff on the list right now. I don't think we need to answer that in sort of a rush mode. Question from Facebook, how balanced is your matching, or how does your matchmaking algorithm work? Can you do this in 15 seconds, Matt?
Yeah, it works pretty simply. It just, it will match you with people in the same league, and it just waits until it tries to find someone as close as possible to your rating. And the longer you've been waiting, the more lenient it will be to try to find you a match, even if it's not as close to your rating as possible. And then it also tried to not match you with someone you just battled recently and things like that.
When will it be possible to extend the rent without making it expire? Can't you put more money into that contract to make it keep going?
Yeah, you can renew your rentals. It's the feature's available through Peak Monster. It's not yet available through the Splinterlands website.
But it exists. It's coming. When will the release date for play to earn SPS rewards system? That whole when do we get when will ranked battles provide SPS rewards?
I don't have a release date for that yet. I think the plan is Q3 of this year.
All right, it's coming. Q3 we're in it. All right. Will there be cancel rental within 5 minutes? So if you have immediate rental regret, can you just cancel it right away?
There's currently no ability to do that. It would just be you'd have to pay for at least 1 day. It would be 24 hours. So again, if that's some real important thing that a lot of people want, we can consider it. But I haven't considered it yet.
Will there be some measures, maybe Legacy League, having players actually have some power belong to their account rather than renting? Where you can't rent. They want a rent-free matchmaking
or
system.
Just at least you have to own a certain amount of cards or something. I don't know. Yeah, possibly, but it's not on the roadmap right now.
When is the next AMA? When do you want to do the next one?
You want to go back to 2 p.m. Eastern?
Yes, as long as you're
regularly scheduled time.
Yeah, as long as you're good with that. So let me yeah, we'll put in 2 p.m. Although actually, no, that's a personal thing that I have. Can we go do that? Let's move that to the morning.
All right.
So
morning
we're gonna,
it is then.
let's go do that at 9 a.m. on Friday the 23rd.
9 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. UTC.
Yeah. We're going to move this back up. Sorry. Hey, dang it. 9 a.m. All right, good. All right, what other questions do I have here? No more questions. All right, I think that's good. Okay, so let's go with Cryptomancer. I'm gonna go unmute you here. Hopefully your mic is working, and then I want to do Nate, and then I want to end with Chris and Carrie. So Cryptomancer, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little overblown, but you're there and good. Can you? We're already 15 minutes over, so normally you give very thorough updates. Can you kind of hit the highlights so that we're not running too much over?
Yep, sure. I'll keep it short this time. So basically, Brawls is within just a couple days of being code complete. And by that, I mean all of the code is written, all of the features are working, all of the pieces are in place. And the next step will be to thoroughly test everything, because it is a very large release that impacts many different areas of the game, many new screens and whatnot. So probably next week sometime, we're going to go into QA testing. And that'll be a similar process to what we did before when Brawls first came out. So the Mavericks will be able to have a sneak peek at the QA server and actually try out the new features. And the point of that will be to kind of give it a shakedown cruise and make sure there's not any nasty bugs lurking in there. So we want to try and make it as polished and working as well as we can before we actually release it for real. So assuming the testing goes well, I don't think it will take too long to complete that phase. And we'll be looking at a release for real, hopefully around the end of the month or start of next month. So it's going good, and we're coming down the last little steps.
Awesome. Thanks for that update. All right, Nate, you're here. You want to go share some eye candy for what's upcoming and tell us what you're working on?
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to ride Cryptomancer's tail. In fact, Cryptomancer, you should share one of your screens. I'll share this one, but yours are better because they're actually coded. But people should be excited by the fact that we're going to tweak the battlegrounds a bit for Brawls, and a lot of that's going to bleed into regular play, including the ability to see what abilities the summoners are offering to the team. So that should be something that has been a long time coming, and it's finally going to hit the game, and it'll make it easier to understand what's going on with the battles. I'm skipping through the stuff that I think I can share. Here, I'm gonna save some of this stuff for next time in case it's a little premature, but I do have, I am pretty excited. I am spending, besides the SPS stuff and everything else we're doing, I am preparing for people being able to redeem their claims for actual deeds. So here's a little tantalizing
drum roll.
Here's an example of how the land cards are progressing from what they were when we showed them before. This is an example of an occupied card. Some of the differences are that at the tops, where it gives the categories, and for those of you guys who have been following land, you know there's like 4 different categories. There's natural land, there is magical land, of which you can get 6 different magical mana out of it. There's occupied land, which is what you're looking at now, and then there's finally what I'm calling kingdom land. That's subject to change, but right now I'm calling it kingdom land, and that's where you have your castles and keeps. The occupied land, I think, now subject to change as well, might end up coming with a level 1 building, just like when you get a castle or keep. I suspect we might, there might be a building already on the land, and it'll be level 1, and you'll have to level it up all the way to level 10 using the resources at your disposal. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. You'll notice that occupied land has enemies somewhere on the horizon. So in this particular card's case, you'll notice there's a big tower. You don't know who lives there. Is it a scary wizard? Is it a bunch of goblins, what is going on in that tower? You're basically going to have to level up an outpost in order to, resolve the fact that your land that you were given is already occupied, and you're going to have to fight them, and that's going to result in essences, which you'll further on use in crafting and whatnot. So since we're running out of time, and I got some stuff, but I'll save some stuff for next time. I'll kind of cut it there.
You tease. Okay, here's a real screenshot of the battleground from Cryptomancer. So this thing is looking awesome. You can just get the full sense of who the summoner is, the abilities that are there, the cards that are part of it, who's the host of the arena, the rules for the fray, some of the tactics that are in play, the rule sets, the mana cap, either the elements that you can play as a part of. All of that is right there. Pretty amazing. Just a really nice way to get that there.
It also shows the summoner abilities now, or will, when this is released. You can see next to Ulrich the +1 magic and the +1 attack for Malric.
Yeah. Although it doesn't say the name of the summoners. I guess it doesn't say the name of anybody. Okay.
No, it doesn't say the name of the summoners. Now you can see their stats.
Yeah, that's killing it. All right. Also, just Nate, thanks for being funny with the Xbox the spot and the get off my lawn. It's a nice touch. Okay. Nate, I wanted to do Jarvie. Do you want to come on and just say anything about Peak Monsters? I'd like to give you an opportunity to speak if you want. He's typing. Yeah, he says why not. Let's go let Jarvie on. And we're going to end this with the Digicon crew, so hopefully Chris and Carrie are ready. Jarvie, really nice job with the rental market, and really nice job with the bulk card view. I operate a pretty large account, and I've just been able to go. I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Now I have other accounts that I got to go through. But man, what a time saver! What a nice job you guys have done. Kudos to helping to design the rental system. I don't know if everybody knows it, but Jarvie was one of the guys behind Peak Monsters along with Asgarth, but the rental system is really his brainchild of how it should work in practice. So I just want to say thank you, kudos to you, and give you an opportunity to share any kind of Peak Monsters update that you'd like.
All right. So we now have some really good features for renters where you can renew, or I would like to say extend, I guess, your rental. So if you really like playing with that card and we'll actually tell you how much time you have left with that card, you can extend it. And if you extend it, that means you're first in line. You can keep on going indefinitely until the owner decides to stop renting. So you got to extend. We show how much time is left. We just put in a few more filters, like level filters, so you could put in your whole Silver League, 5, 4, 3, 2, I think is the 5 on commons, 4 on rares, that sort of thing. So you could put that all in and then sort by price, so you see the cheapest cards literally for your league. Doesn't matter what rarity is, it'll just show them all. So that was a really cool feature. Change price for owners is a new feature. At least there's an UI for it now that you can change your price. Changing price on rented cards, like ones that are presently being rented out, is not an option. So you're going to have to stop the rental and then come back after the time expires, and you'll be able to set the price. Also, I'd like to say a word about the cooldown. There was some confusion. It was mostly on my part. What ended up happening is that Peak Monsters always had an additional feature, and I never really separated that. I thought it was all cooldown, but we had additional feature, and it stopped working with rentals. But cooldown has always worked, so it's just confusion on my part. But we reintegrated that separate feature, which is basically the ability to tell owners, hey, if you do anything with this card, it will go into cooldown. And that stopped working. So we put in how long ago has this card been played? And so now everything's been solved, and it should be pretty easy and simple. But yeah, just reiteration. Sorry for my confusion earlier. Cooldowns always worked, and now we have a feature that also works for renters. So if you go in there and you see, I haven't played this card for 3 days, maybe you don't want to rent this card anymore. So that'll be helpful for you guys, for renters and owners. So there you go. Just a slew of new things in there, I guess. So.
All right. All right. Any last thing you want to tell people about Peak Monsters before I move on to the Digicon crew?
No. Well, next thing to do, hopefully, I hate to put our developer on the on the line, but we want to give the ability for people to do some more advanced sorting mechanisms, in particular for the buy market, to be able to say, hey, I'm looking specifically for cards at the max level. Like, give me the price. If I were to get max level cards, what is the cheapest max level cards? And just a bunch of unique sorting filters like that. So also, if any APIs start to exist for giving people statistics about the rental market as far as what's already being rented, if those start to be available on the API, we'll look into integrating those as well.
Awesome. All right, Jarvie, thank you for your work. It's great to have you sort of be one of the great development teams helping to go build out the third-party ecosystem for Splinterlands, and you have certainly made the user experience of this game and ecosystem so much better. Thanks for your work.
Thank you.
All right. So now we have the Digicon crew. So when is Digicon? What is Digicon? Why should people show up? And we even have Pete in here. I will unmute Pete if you would like as well. No, he's busy. I just muted him again. I can hear talking in the background. All right, Waffles, you want to go tell us some stuff about Digicon?
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Chris, for posting the link to the event. So tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern is when our virtual doors open. Make sure you guys are RSVP'd so you get a little reminder. I know, currently on the website it says that the event is live, but that was just because of a recent update by the Gamerjive team. So currently, only sponsors are able to get in, and a code is required. But once the doors open at 2 p.m. Eastern, no code is required. You guys can come in, and it'll be fine.
And so, what is Digicon?
So, sorry, there's something wrong with my mic right now.
No, you're coming okay.
Okay, cool. All right. There's something wrong with my computer. I don't know why it's doing this. Sorry, I am also streaming at the same time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Alright guys. So Digicon coming up tomorrow is a conglomeration of all of your favorite crypto, finance, gaming, art, media, and news. Lots of really fun and amazing people there. There will be prizes, swag, and sponsor booths to check out with industry experts within the blockchain, gaming, collectibles, DeFi industries. And the best of all, it's free, and you can earn a lot of really cool stuff, including one of the badges that Chris posted in the AMA channel.
Awesome.
And then I had no idea about
it's Yellow Pig Day.
Yeah, I had no idea about the origin of that.
It's a real day. It's yeah. So it's this really obscure, weird holiday from the '60s where there were some Princeton students who obsessed about the number 17, and for some reason they created an unofficial holiday called Yellow Pig Day, where the pig had 17 teeth, 17 toes, and 17 eyelashes. Because apparently the number 17 is really fascinating. So this holiday has withstood the test of time, and this Saturday we're going to be celebrating Yellow Pig Day with Digicon. It's going to be a really fun one. We've got a lot of new sponsors. It's going to be great. There's going to be a bunch of prizes and value given away like usual. Very exciting.
And then what happens right after Digicon?
Yeah, right after Digicon, we're gonna go straight into the Zen Sports Kickoff Cup, a big tournament, big Splinterlands tournament with some of the champion players.
And
That is a live tournament event, and that's gonna be streaming through the Zen Sports Twitch channel. I'm gonna grab the thumbnail really quick.
and who is Zen Sports? What are they? They're kind of like new to this
They're a
community.
sports betting platform.
Okay.
Yeah, Zen Sports is a sports bet platform. So they've kind of gotten into an agreement with us where they're going to do tournaments every month, and they're gonna take some of the champion Splinterlands players, and they have a esports tournament creation app. So they're not just a sports betting app, but they're an esports tournament creation interface. And so everything is run through the Zen Sports app. It's really cool. I think that we have a really strong future with them, like doing these monthly tournaments. And there's even potential in the future to have betting on these Splinterlands tournaments. So what we're going to be doing tomorrow with this slow-paced tournament, starting at 5:30 Eastern, right after Digicon, so it's like half an hour after Digicon, we're going to turn the Gamer Jibe space into the Zen Sports watch party. So we're going to kick everybody out when Digicon ends, and then we're going to instantly redecorate the space and turn it into the Zen Sports VIP lounge. And then everybody's going to come back in and watch the Twitch stream through Zen Sports official channel, and I'm going to be doing the hosting. And Tanzo, our amazing cameraman Tanzo, who helps out with Digicon every event, he's going to be helping with the stream. And so we're going to have like this awesome panel of Splinterlands. I mean, I hesitate to say experts because I'm just not that good, but we're going to be doing, play-by-play commentary on the battles from some of the best players in the game, and it's really exciting. We did a run through yesterday, kind of a mock tournament, and it went really well. So I have high hopes about it. I know it's going to be a long day for us, but I think it's going to be a great time. So everybody tune in to the Zen Sports tournament. The kickoff cup tomorrow. And the prizes are huge. It's like up to $2,500 in prizes for the players in this tournament. So, but the spectators, there's plenty of stuff you can win too. There's going to be like 50 packs given away. We're going to give away some legendary summoners. So just come watch on Twitch, and you will have a chance to win some good stuff.
Yeah, really exciting. We keep finding these guys, new people come along. Zen Sports is cool, and really excited to be working with them. And so it's going to be kind of a long Splinterlands day tomorrow, but hopefully it's good times, and you guys are there with us, and help spread the word for Digicon, help spread the word for the Zen Sports. Do we have the tournament bracket that you can share for the tournament tomorrow?
Yeah, I could put it in. I have a GIF version of it here. It's only on the Zen Sports app, so I had to make it into a little animated. It might take a second to upload here. It's not that big. So yeah, I mean, some of the best players. So in the tournament yesterday, Yace did like a clean sweep. We only had like half of the players, I think, that are going to be in the tournament tomorrow. But I think that Yasik didn't lose a single battle. So
yeah, he's a beast.
So he's going to be the one to beat, and we're going to be. Yeah, he's so good. It was. I mean, yeah, we watched a lot of battles, and I was really blown away by the strategy. These battles are fun to watch at the champion at the top level of the game.
Yeah, a lot of you guys want to go be like the best that's out here, and if you want to be the best so you can get the most prizes, you just have to watch the best. And you can't do everything that they're doing because they're probably playing at card levels that are different from yours. But and if you get knocked out of the tournament, hopefully you'll stick around and hopefully you'll join Chris and just kind of provide some commentary, not just smack talk, but yeah, we'd love it. Come talk to us. Come share the stories. Come be part of the sort of this epic first giant prize pool, and let's go celebrate the winners and the money that they make. So I think that's pretty good. Matt, is there anything that you'd like us to leave with for this kind of time period? What do you want players to be thinking about, knowing, anticipating, or what is that last thing you want to leave on their minds before they go?
One thing I'll say is that, I think some people seem to get it, but not everyone, that like there's going to be a year-long airdrop of SPS token for assets, Splinterlands assets that you hold. So, not only if you get Splinterlands assets, can you use them in the game to battle and win rewards that way, or rent them out or whatever. But you'll also be earning SPS tokens for 365 days off of those assets. So I think just and as when we release and we launch SPS tokens in a couple weeks, we're going to do everything we can to get the word out majorly, to as many people as possible. So you guys are in before that. Don't let the opportunity pass you by.
And I'm, as the chief of FOMO here, it's my obligation to let you know that things are going absolutely haywire. Just the signups per day, the number of battles played, where we literally hit just shy. It killed me. We hit 9,800 and something players or accounts playing in the same day, and it broke my heart. I just want to hit that 10,000 mark so freaking much. But we're right there. We're really going to do that. And, in some of these games, it's like, they're just tracking how many people are staking. And so it's more like, how many wallet addresses are involved. But that's not what this is. This is how many people are really interacting with this game, being a part of this community. And, it's just, there's so much potential here, so much that's happening. Rentals are through the roof. We've had 30,000 rentals so far. Just literally any single metric I could grab, I'm like, holy crap, that chart is looking amazing. So hopefully you guys are feeling that. Hopefully you guys are sharing stuff on social media. Hopefully you are using the hashtag Splinterlands and the hashtag free to play. We all have a responsibility to go make sure that this game is growing. And growing it is. That's my favorite metric. It took us 3 years to get to 100,000 players. It took us 2 weeks to get to 120,000. I mean, it's just remarkable what happens with this stuff. So kudos. Hopefully you're enjoying the ride. And yeah, thanks for being here, guys. It's an absolute blessing. It's fantastic to get to work on this project day in and day out. Just a really wonderful team, a really wonderful just life that you have all provided for us that get to work here. We're super grateful, and thanks for being part of our community. Thanks for being awesome, and most importantly, thanks for spreading the word. Go spread the word. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. Sorry we ran a little bit late, but as SPS is charging out there, these things might be running a little bit late for the next couple. But you guys are awesome. We'll be back at 9 a.m. next week. Thanks for being here, and I hope you guys have an excellent weekend.